Well, to be honest, I was all excited, so I was, for the last couple of days, because it was my very strong understanding that the An Bord Pleanála decision about the Galway ring road was to be released today. And some very good information that I had confirmed to me yesterday morning that it was going to be released to Brenda McGrath and Jim Cullen, both City Council and County Council officials, yesterday evening, and then would be released to the rest of us public members, indeed, and the media this morning. Lo and behold, and I was waiting for that, indeed, but lo and behold, yesterday evening about 3 o'clock, everything changed. And on the website they said they've kicked it out to the 1st of October. Kenny Deary joins me on the line, Chief Executive of Galway Chamber, who's been lobbying for this for quite some time now. Kenny, good morning to you.
Good morning, Keith. How are you?
Was it your understanding, or was I misunderstood, that it was to be yesterday? First it was to be back in April, and then I think it was June again, and it was to be yesterday?
It certainly was. All of our bubbles have been burst again yesterday evening and indeed this morning. This is the fourth deferral of the decision from a process that, as we know, but I think we have to remind ourselves, started going back in March 2020. Obviously, COVID had an impact and we moved online in October 2020 to complete it. But, Keith, immense frustration, I think, right across the business community, and to be fair, in local authority land, and I think with many of your listeners who will be listening to this morning, no matter what your position was on the project, whether you supported it, whether you were against it, whether you were unsure, these continuing deferrals is of no interest to anyone. It doesn't help any particular section of those with an opinion, and it's just really frustrating.
But why now? I know it's only 4 weeks or 5 weeks at most, indeed, to the 1st of October. I'm kind of told off the record and on the record that this could be a good thing, that they want to make sure that it can't be subject to judicial review or indeed be sent to Europe. So this might be a good thing. Is that how you would read it?
You would hope. Like, this is a complex project, and without a doubt the inspectors have a monumental amount of detail and correspondence and reports to go through, so they have to be thorough. That's without doubt. I think it would be great if that was the case, Keith, and we're sure that it will happen on the 1st of October, because again it was, as you said, April to June to August and now October. So if we had assurances that we would have news on the 1st of October, I think we would be very accepting of that, and particularly if some comfort could be given around the next steps and how absolute the decision is and how bulletproof the decision is. Unfortunately, we don't have that detail, and that's one of the challenges with this process for all involved. An Bord Pleanála, rightly, is an independent organisation. There needs to be independence. However, we will be writing later today to the Minister for Housing, Planning and Heritage, seeking some, and this is not the first time this has come up, this has been vented at a national level on many projects. There has to be some quantum around timelines to manage expectations, to allow businesses make informed decisions, to allow local authorities plan. Like, there are many component parts to the Galway transport strategy. This is just one of them, but it just seems to be the biggest kind of ball that's rolling down the road. And there's, I won't say a total static on other projects, but if it's a case that we had agreed timelines, we knew exactly what was happening and when a decision could be reflected, then at least it allows everybody plan accordingly. What we're at, as you said, yesterday morning it was being announced, today by yesterday evening it wasn't. I'm sure there's some good and valid reason, but to the business community and to those in leadership who make decisions based on the detail they have, 4 deferrals with no kind of clarity around why or what, just you're looking into an abyss.
Situation though is, and again, I don't have any scientific evidence on this, Kenny Deary of Galway Chamber, but the decision is made. I mean, they didn't come to lunchtime yesterday when they pulled the plug on this because they hadn't got the decision made. They're obviously dotting the I's and crossing the T's. But I mean, the decision has got to be made because it's such a big piece of infrastructure. They just couldn't make a decision on a whim overnight and announce it this morning to us.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm sure there's a whole piece behind the scenes that we don't know, and I'm sure there was a whole piece of thought last April behind the scenes that we didn't know, and I'm sure in June when it was deferred again. It's just looking in from the outside, I think there has to be a simpler and a better way. And I do hope that we have a response on the 1st of October. And I do hope that it will be in the positive supporting the project. Because, Keith, I think we have to keep reminding ourselves, this is, without exception, and we look at obviously the development of the city centre and the port and those type of projects, which are seismic for Galway. But this, I think, is going to be the single biggest piece of enabling infrastructure to allow Galway to grow and to allow the region to grow this decade, if not in 20, 30 years. It's humongous. Like, reminding ourselves, it will bring a ring around the city that decongests our city centre, that allows the traffic that doesn't want to be in our roundabouts and our junctions not be there, and allow us create the capacity for the city centre to be changed to that sustainable urban centre that we want for the future. So this to Galway is that project. And, you know, as I say, it'll be great if we have a positive response on the 1st of October, but I sincerely hope that we don't go into a 5th deferral cycle.
I think we're all holding our breath for that one. But I mean, the 1st of October is, what is it? Is it 5 weeks? 5 weeks away, maybe?
Yeah.
5 weeks. 5 weeks away, perhaps today even, is what it is. So what's 5 weeks? I mean, it's going to take how many years? 5 years to complete as well. So what's 5 weeks in that regard? But they do need to come out though and make a fairly strong statement today and let us know that it is going to happen on the 1st.
They do, and listen, come the end of September, we'll have, as one would say, the child of Prague and whatever other apparatus is out, in the hope that there will be a decision. And as I say, I know there's different viewpoints on this, but ours as the business community is very much in favour of it. This needs to happen, and we need to get on with the delivery of the whole transport strategy, and obviously this being a massive piece of it.
Absolutely. Kenny Deary, thank you indeed for joining us today on the programme. Kenny Deary joining us there.